It's it's like the law of gravity. What goes up is going to come down, and there's no shame, there's no stigma. And in fact, part of what I try to always make the point of, so much of what we're talking about here is physiological. And that gets back to PTSI, post traumatic stress injury. I mean, we can think of it as an injury to the nervous system.
I do like that it's a neurological change, not a defect.
We put the psychological in mental health care. We put the psychiatric diagnoses and the psychological stuff kind of forward, and then we know kind of way in the background, yeah, there's some physiological issues. My perspective is we need to shift them. We should be putting physiology forward.
Well, I
Because
think
then we're looking
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
because then we're looking at brain, at endocrine, at hormones, not just how many hours is somebody sleeping at night, but when are they sleeping, and what is their brain doing while they're sleeping, and what is their breathing doing while they're asleep, and all of these other things that have profound effects on what we call, quotes, air quotes, psychological.
I like I like your perspective on that because it places the physiological ahead of, and I think like if I had a broken arm, I could say my arm's not broken, but if you take an X-ray, look, there's the break.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
plain and simple to see. This is
Yep.
not something that you can just positive mindset and do
Right.
some meditation and it's going to heal.
Right. And no one would feel bad about going to a doctor with a broken arm and saying, doc, I think my leg is broken or my arm is broken. Probably need a cast.
It,
And that's just is what it is.
I did,
You got
but
to do it.
ultimately I had to get a cast.
You
But
did.
ultimately it's going to happen. But I think being able to frame it that way, there's no
Yeah.
stigma.
Yeah.
It's like getting shin splints because you ran a marathon. It's
Right. Yeah.
if anything, these are, I don't want to call it a badge of honor, but these are stripes that are earned.
Yeah.
You have to do hard things to earn this. And this is not necessarily a badge of honor, but it's an indication that God, I don't really even know how I want to put this. It's an indication that you've done something with your life. That's how I look at this now. That
Yeah.
if someone were to call me weak because I had these moments, or I had to do this treatment, or I had to do that treatment, and I've had people who, since I've started this and put my book out, who have said, well, why can't you just be tougher? I did 12 years and I did this, and I just sucked it up. Get a glass of bourbon. I was like, well, first, this message obviously isn't for you. You haven't had that moment, and I hope you never have that moment. And if you do, I hope your heart's in a position, or you're in a space to weather it. But as far as, just suck it up and drive on, buddy, that's what's killing people. That idea and that stigma. And, I wanted to fight back and say something against that, but I didn't, because I know where people might be when they're making statements like that.